I'd like to introduce the next speaker. The next speaker is sent a pre-recorded testimony in. They are a trans academic with a specialism in knowledge exclusion and the study of production of ignorance. Erin, can you play the video, please?
I'm just going to explain that I have received this today and gone back and forth a couple of times with the author to reduce it, but I think it still will take us a little over time. So I may stop it before the end and we'll make the slides available after the session.
Hello everyone, this is Dr. Jane Doe. I'm an academic at a UK university. I'm using a pseudonym to talk about this. I'm sorry I'm having to do this as a narrated PowerPoint. That's pretty much the best I can do. I've had to sort of come in and do this at a very short notice. I'm particularly pleased that the WEP is talking about trans people in the media. I think there's a huge elephant in the room about the media anyway, and particularly the media's treatment of trans people. So I'm very pleased to be taking part of this. Hello everyone. Okay, the lots of different problems with the media. Misrepresentation is one of them, and here we have some deliberate misrepresentation of the whole situation about trans children, for example. Okay, the lots of different problems with the media. Misrepresentation is one of them, and here we have some deliberate misrepresentation of the whole situation about trans children, for example. Saying staff quit the NHS over ethics. Actually, most of those staff, if not all of the ones that quit the NHS clinic concerned, were not actually clinical staff, and of those, very few, if any, were actually involved in treating children or had any expertise in children. So this is one example of the way we are misrepresented persistently in the media, and this is quite widespread. Trans children is merely the latest of them. Okay, so while there's a significant amount of misrepresentation about trans children, and in particular the idea that trans children are somehow being transed, in inverted commas, by medics or parents who are making them trans, is complete fabrication. There are huge problems with that, and it kind of takes away the agency of trans children and trans people themselves. The truth is, trans children actually have to fight tooth and nail to get any kind of acceptance, never mind treatment. Likewise, this particular misrepresentation, the idea that the rights of trans people collide with the rights of others, particularly women. There is absolutely no evidence whatsoever to back this up. Where we have trans equality in terms of being able to have statutory self-identification as trans, it's been found that there have been no detriment to women, to cis women. There has been no issues that have put cis women at a disadvantage at all. The countries like Portugal, Malta, Norway, Denmark, Ireland, countries like that have had the right for trans people to self-identify, in some cases for many years. Yet there have been no problems in terms of cis women losing rights, cis women suffering violence or anything like that. In fact, there is actually an academic study which shows that where you do have equal rights for trans people, that does not result in an increase in attacks on women or a decrease in safety for women. A study that was based in Boston, in the United States, where different areas had different laws at the time. So there's not only no evidence to support this idea that rights collide, there is actually evidence to the contrary. That some of the transphobic hate groups that have obviously quite intense contacts with the mainstream media have been putting about that, you know, that there would be men dressing up as women and that trans women are a danger and this sort of thing. If that were true, then you would probably have seen hundreds of these on the front page of the Times, of these incidents in everywhere from Argentina to Norway. In fact, I haven't seen large numbers of these at all. I haven't seen one like this in such countries. So the idea that rights collide is a complete misrepresentation, and a very powerful misrepresentation as well. It builds on fears, it builds on no data whatsoever, like so much in the media. And it's something that here, if we see this article in The Guardian, this editorial was so notorious that The Guardian US actually produced subsequently an editorial attacking this, which is quite unprecedented. So The Guardian sister paper actually disagreed with this. Okay, so you can see here, basically got three groups within the media. The bulk of the media, Times, Telegraph, Mail, etc., has pretty much an anti-trans editorial policy. This includes a lot of BBC News programmes, although it doesn't include all of the BBC's output. Then we've got media which doesn't have an anti-trans. I'm not saying that they're necessarily pro-trans, but at least they're not anti-trans. Independent Metro, HuffPo. And pro-trans is pretty much restricted to Pink News and Gay Star News and some of the smaller news outlets like that, Novara Media and that kind of thing. This is very, very important, as we will see in the next slide, because the overwhelming output of the media is particularly anti-trans, and I'm having to include The Guardian in this, although it does include some favourable material to trans. Largely it isn't. The one journalist, anti-trans journalist, has written more articles in The Guardian about trans people this year than all the trans contributors put together, which I think is quite important.